G'day guys, Smash here. In this video we're going to cover some of the various changes for the Windwalker monk spec in Warlords of Draenor. We'll go through all the general ability changes, talents, and then the glyphs. So right off the back, Flying Serpent Kick can now be used around corners. Yep, we can basically zip around and control the direction that we go. This is seriously one of the best changes for monks, and it also works with Roll and Chi Torpedo. Healing Sphere has been removed. This ability was just way too overpowered. This really does hurt Windwalker monks, as this was one of our strengths in the spec, but to counteract this, Blizzard has given us a watered down Surging Mist ability, which can be used with energy. It's weak, but it does work. Buffs have now been merged. All monks have the stats buff, as you would know, but Windwalkers specifically have a crit buff as well. These buffs have now been merged into one called Legacy of the White Tiger. Now, a kick change. Spearhand Strike no longer blankets enemies. This really does suck, but pretty much all blankets have been removed from the game, so it's not that bad. Fist of Fury. This is a huge change for Windwalkers. Now our Fist of Fury will do full damage to the primary target and splits with everything else that's caught in it. This is pretty massive because primary targets will now get nailed for the full amount of damage regardless of what gets caught in it. I notice now there's 5 Chi and 6 with Ascension. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or not, or whether it's completely intended, but currently on the beta it's showing 5 Chi for the standard instead of 4, and when you get the Ascension talent, you'll now have 6 Chi, so that's kind of interesting. Disarm has been removed from the game completely for us. We no longer have Grapple Weapon as an ability anymore. I think a lot of people have received that as well. It's just Disarm being removed, I'm not sure. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys is that now our teleport is instant. Now, when I logged on to the beta for the first time, I noticed that our teleport had changed slightly. The setup called Transcendence was instant, but the transfer was casted. Now, I was really confused by this, because we have nothing to gain from the setup being instant and the teleport or the transfer being a casted ability. So I basically sent in my feedback and said this was pretty much a waste of your time changing this. You should really change it to have both being instant, and now it is. I don't know whether that's because of me or whatever, but this is an incredible change and you're going to really like it. Now on to talents. All sub-level 100 talents look to be functioning pretty much the same way as they do live. I did, however, notice that the Chi wave was travelling a lot faster than it does on live, which is pretty interesting. The new level 100 talents for Windwalkers are pretty amazing. The first one is called Hurricane Strike. This ability hits like an absolute truck and costs 3 Chi, and the best part is you're immune to CC for 2 seconds while the ability is going off. This immunity works exactly the same way as the Warrior's Bladestorm. The next talent is called Chi Explosion and replaces your Blackout Kick. This ability will use all your Chi, and depending on how much Chi you do spend will depend on what happens. So for 1 Chi, it does damage. For 2, it does damage and applies a dot, similar to how Blackout Kick works on live. 3 Chi does the same thing as 2, but also provides a charge of Tiger Eye Brew. And 4 does everything that 3 does, but splashes to all targets within 8 yards. The most interesting part of this talent is the range. This bad boy has 40-yard range, which is quite a game changer. And the final level 100 Windwalker talent is called Serenity. It lasts 10 seconds and all the Chi that you spend within this 10 seconds is immediately refunded. The potential for this burst is pretty big, quite a powerful talent on a 1 minute 50-second cooldown. Now on to glyphs. Not a lot to report here, but there has been some new ones that have come up. I noticed that there was no minor glyph of Blackout Kick, which means in order to do optimal damage, you'll need to go behind your targets to use Blackout Kick, or you could use the Chi Explosion talent. A new minor glyph called Glyph of Freedom Roll. It essentially works the same way as our PvP gloves, which removes the snares or slows when you use Roll or Serpent Kick to get away. This tells us that the PvP glove bonus might change or be removed completely. Either way, this is probably going to be a must for PvP. Glyph of Floating Butterfly. Now this changes our Fist of Fury ability so that it can be channeled while moving. However, the stun has been removed. Not a bad glyph. Could see this more in PvE than PvP, as the stun is fairly crucial for PvP. And that's about it for the Windwalker monk changes in Warlords of Draenor. If you want to check out some of the other monk specs, click the link on the annotations you see on your screen now and they'll take you straight there. And as always, thanks for watching.